Hey everyone, it's great to see you again. As you know, I usually like to take you to a bit more remote, far from everything locations. But sometimes life has a way of grounding you. As I already mentioned in my last video, I had a surgery mid-December and at this moment I can't go on longer hikes and I can't carry heavier backpacks. That's why this time we're gonna shoot from a spot which is right next to the main road, and at the same time we will take a trip down the memory lane as we will try to reshoot an image I captured a few years ago. Another reason I chose this place is the fact that in the past few months I had a few unsuccessful trips, ones that involved both driving and hiking. Although I love being under the night sky, coming home empty-handed a few times in a row, well, that kinda leaves a sour taste. So maybe this would be a nice opportunity just to take a step back, shoot locally and enjoy the process without any pressure. About the image, it is this one right here featuring the Heart and Soul Nebula next to Mount Porezen. Once again. I don't know why so many of my vlogs revolve around this mountain, but I promise it is not intentional. The original shot was taken from my backyard, but this time we are going to do something a bit different. There is a specific spot where the mountain lines up beautifully with a church. A scene I see every time when I'm driving home, of course if it's not cloudy. Because the spot where we're gonna shoot from is not the same, this means the alignment itself won't be the same either. If I put on the screen my old plan and my new one, you can see that in this case the Heart and Soul Nebula will be more above the peak and not as much towards the side of the mountain. Tracking will be done with Fornax Lightrack Star Tracker, because it works really well with longer focal lengths. I use MSM Nomad when I'm shooting up to 50 mm. For anything above that, I prefer to use the Fornax. And for imaging, I'll use Astro-modified Nikon Z6. Modification really comes through when we're shooting the targets like the Heart and Soul. The lens is probably one of the most popular lenses in Astro. It's the Samyang 135 mm. which is really sharp even wide open at f2. With the gear almost ready, there is just one more thing we have to do before we can start shooting. The next step is polar alignment, and for this I'm using a laser pointer which came with Move Shoot Move Nomad. I also slightly modified the polar scope arm on my Fornax mount so I can simply screw in the laser pointer. If you want to do a similar modification yourself, the thread size on the laser pointer is 9 by 0.75 millimeters. Okay, the setup is now complete. Now, tonight we will have to capture a few different types of images. And the images we are after, and I'll be shooting these in the following order, are hydrogen alpha images. I'll take multiple exposures of these and stack them for better noise reduction and improved signal. A single star glow image. This will help highlight a few individual stars. A set of RGB images and landscape images. Same as with hydrogen and RGB images, I'll take several of those and stack them as well to reduce noise and to bring out the finer details. For certain shots, I'll be using specific filters to achieve the desired effects. For star glow, I'll use the Kenko Softon A filter to create a subtle glowing effect around the stars. And for the hydrogen alpha images, I'll use the Astronomik 12 nanometers clip-in filter to isolate the hydrogen emission and to capture the stunning details of the nebulae. If you're using a Nikon Z camera like I do, then I would recommend you that you switch to video mode when you are setting up your composition and use the highest ISO, slowest shutter speed and lens wide open, because you can see the landscape and everything so much better. It's time to frame up our scene. There's the church and Mount Porezen right behind it. It looks like it's completely covered in snow, which is just perfect. I'll move the camera up because I'll start with my sky exposure first, and then we will move to the landscape towards the end. I will now take a test exposure at ISO 6400, 8 seconds, and just to see how the composition looks like and if I have to make any changes. This looks almost perfect. Maybe I have to change the angle just a little bit, so the Heart and Soul Nebula will be more in the center. Let's try it again. It's so dark above the mountain, so many stars. I can't say the same thing what's behind me with those orange street lights. I hope they don't cause any flickering on my video. Now, this looks great. I'll add a H-alpha filter and we're gonna go from there. It's time for the final task of the night, and that is taking flat frames for my RGB images. I already took flats for my H-alpha immediately after I was done taking H-alpha images. I'm using quite a simple drawing tracing board from Amazon, and the only thing you have to pay attention to is if you are using electronic shutter, you have to switch to mechanical, because electronic shutter does not work very well with this type of LED drawing tracing board. So, time to take the flats. Looks like we are done here for tonight. I can feel my beard is already freezing, and I should also mention that I'm on a quite strict diet for the next few months and I can't drink any coffee. Astrophotography and lack of coffee is definitely not a nice combination. Well, it was great to be under the stars again, to be outside. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Thank you for watching, take care, and bye-bye.